Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. On tap is what should be a pretty good matchup between the New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, is Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. The streak continues, doesn't it? They come in here a perfect 11-0. Meanwhile, for the visiting Jets, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point. But, boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
The bye weeks are over. It's all about football all the time as we're underway here in Week 13. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. And they will be led out by their 6'6" quarterback.
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who have helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
And his first look is incomplete. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. McKee. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and then hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Off play action. McKee. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 46. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six for a Steeler touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. Elliott good with a PAT, and it's now a 7-0 game. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Throwing after the interception. McKee. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. Now a look at the defensive starters here for the Steelers. They were very good in the victory a week ago over Cincinnati.
Yeah, they pitched a shutout in that game, didn't they? And those don't come around all that often in the NFL. The ability to keep someone out of the end zone and also from kicking one through the post. Well done.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. To throw on second down. McKee, and that is incomplete. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, you know, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete. Here's the Jets punter now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. Taken from just outside the 30. Avoids him at the 40. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. And they'll be let out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and it's not. That told me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Here we go. Brad 38.
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. That one will go for 9 yards and a first down on the keeper. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Now on first down, he'll drop it and throw it. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
The numbers for him from a week ago, 10 carries, 96 yards, and a touchdown.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
Right back to him on first down. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Wide open receiver complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. And a nice gain at 21 yards. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Come on, let's go. What? 90. What? 90. Let's go, D. Let's go. Let's get this.
Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a second and short yardage to start things out.
Let's go. What?
And on the ground they go with a running back. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up first and goal.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
Come on, let's go.
He'll look to throw. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. In for the score. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Elliott now to kick this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now out come the Jets. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. Looking to throw on second down. McKee throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
On third down, McKee. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Oh, look at that. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half. And
into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. Elliott good with a PAT. And it's now 21-0. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Elliott now to kick this one away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And the Jets set to take the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
Throwing on first down. McKee over the middle, complete. It's Howard. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and have a look back at our first half, as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. And a nice gain at 21 yards. He's been the forgotten man in this first half. Not a guy you want to forget. Not only his first catch, first time they targeted him.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Not
because
at all.
Those are the types of plays that he provides. When he does come alive, when they do look his way, not only is it a big catch, it's a first down.
He'll drop to throw. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. Looking to throw. And his throw here's incomplete. Well, prior to that, he had hit his first 6 passes to start the game, so on a nice little run to begin.
It feels like this offense has carried its dress rehearsal into the game. You know, because you do practice it, you do go through it, and in this case, it is clicking exactly like they drew it up.
They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Just 11 seconds to go in the half as they have it 1st and 10.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
And they'll run it here. And he'll get this one across the 20, but only up to about the 21. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll be taken down here at about the 23-yard line. So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, guys, thanks very much. We'll get back with you shortly. But first, let's take a look at what's coming up this weekend around the NFL. As far as the early games go on Sunday, we'll have our eye on Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. A big one for the Chiefs as they'll match up against the Cleveland Browns. Good stuff to follow on the West Coast in the afternoon window. One being out in Oakland, where it'll be the Raiders taking on the New Orleans Saints. And then finally, a good one on Sunday Night Football between the LA Rams and the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. Spins by.
Gotta get some suspense going.